plugs on this car when I get it serviced. So I've got my oil, 10W40, went and got a genuine oil filter from the dealership, that's part number. I've found them cheaper online than the dealership, but I went there for convenience and just for a look around. Quite helpful in there actually. Spark plugs, I went for Iridium ones, NGK. There's a part number for them. So in the Nova I've put Denso Iridium plugs in, and I thought it ran a bit better with them in rather than standard plugs, so it cost a bit more money, but I think they're worth it, so I'm glad I put them in this as well. I've had a look online, and from what I've found it's supposed to be gapped to 0.8mm, so I'm going to check all the gaps now, set them, start getting it serviced. So I took one out already, just have a look. And I want to see what type of plugs it's had in before as well. See what the previous owners put in it. So the gap to 0.7. Yeah, let's have a look. So to get out the spark plugs on this, because the engine sits that way with a head on each side, you've got two plugs this side, two that side, and it's just not very easy to get at them compared to like conventional 4-cylinder engines in cars. Shows here. Looks like I might even have to take this out to get in, but look at how tight this gap is here. Between the chassis of the car and the engine, and I've got to get in there to get that out, and another one behind it. Very tight. And then what's it like on the other side? To do with the clean up under this engine bay as well, it needs a clean and it's just filthy. All in good time. Right, do you want to make a start at getting these plugs out? Right, that's them out. Right, so I'm going to attempt to get a plug out here. I'm going to use this flex head ratchet. It's quite tight to get in there. Oh, look at that. Well, they're well overdue to be changed by the look of it. Shit. Well, probably run a bit better with the new ones in them. Check the gaps. Oh, they're bigger than 0.8 as well. That's shit, isn't it? Well, I'll do a little bit of research on that, but it's completely different to what I'm putting in, and a completely different gap. These are cheap plugs and them are expensive ones. Let's get the rest out. That's the second plug. That one's bigger than it is. So is that one. Right, I want to start putting these new plugs in then. I'll leave the hardest one till last. Right, that's the last plug in. Just need to clip these coils back on, tighten them up. That's them done. tight for it. Have to turn the wheel. So the reason I've jacked it up from that side is the drain plug on the sumps here, so that means it will bring it out that way. If I jack it the other side, obviously that wouldn't work. But nice bit of access there to the oil filter and the sump plug, plenty of room. Gives us a little chance to have a look around. That exhaust looks shit, look at that. I wonder if it's got a little bit of an oil leak then, it must have, because it's like oil there. I'll have to have a look at that, figure that out. Just look at how the car sits since I've jacked it up. Is that because of the weight distribution, or is it just because it's lowered a lot with like stiff springs on it? Right, so people asking about the Sierra as well. Here's a little sneak preview for you. Saturday, yeah. So I'm waiting to get a chance to work on it, but obviously everything else is in the way, so I'll give you a quick look at it. Have a look at this. So anyway, I've been doing a bit of welding on it, one of the sills. Picked up some cheap wheels, TSW molars, old school, put them on. Have a quick look inside. Made a start obviously with the brackets, aluminium brackets for the seats, welding bars in, carbon Kevlar seats. The 6 point again, I can't remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 point harnesses. I've only got the one seat in for now, the other one it's on the to-do list. But that's a little bit of an update for now. Like I say, I've got one sill on and some of the welding in the floor done. This side, it's getting there. But at the minute it's just let me put to one side because I've got to get on with this and a couple of other things. A lot of welding happening. Don't want to make a lot of videos about welding because it's a bit boring and it's not really entertaining to watch. So in the background I'm getting it done, but keep watching. One day we'll get this out and we'll get it running. Fucking hell, is that welded on? You're going to try and keep pressure on at the same time, see, to the last minute, and then you release. If you're good, you don't get a drip of oil on your hand. I'm alright at it. I can see I've done an oil change or two in my time. Yeah. Then when you're done with your oil, you dig a hole in the garden and you bury it, or you pour it down the drain. Another top tip. Another top tip from Chin's Motorsport. So I just want to spend a little minute to talk about this tool. So I bought this. It's a Blue Point oil filter removal tool. Blue Point, obviously, if you know your tools, decent make, good. But I've never been able to use it because it never fits any oil filter I've ever had. So basically it works like that. It gets smaller and clamps on. I want to try it on this car now. It might work. Might be the go-to tool for this car. If it doesn't, the gun's back in the drawer where it's been ever since I bought it. Let's find out. Oh, looks like it's working. Finally. Oh, you can even move the handle. I didn't even realise. Look at that. It worked. Oh, there you go. Oil everywhere. So look at this oil filter. this one that was on there before. The Bosch one, not genuine. There's a quick part number there for reference for the future in case me or anybody else can't get hold of a genuine one. This is something you can use. Now, let's have a look at this one. The genuine one. Oh, look at that. Very Japanese. Look. Made in Japan. Genuine parts. And instructions. Do not put in the bin. No, because like I told you, if you bury it, they put it down the drain. Yeah, look at that on the bottom, it says engine. Why did they even put that on there? What's that supposed to mean? And this is two types of oil filters and one isn't for an engine. Right, so you might have heard on the last video there was a bit of a squeaking noise coming from the car. So that brake caliper, not sure what that is, it's probably just be something stupid and I'll have to have a look at it. But anyway, while I was having a look at that, come and have a look at this. Somebody's obviously put like subwoofers or something in this car at some point, and they've run the speaker wire through the wing here, right? Up there, cable tied it, and then they've cable tied it to the suspension, to the spring. Who even does that? Then look inside. It just runs like it's not even in the car properly, it runs through the door gap. It's just stupid that. So they've run this wire down here, cable tied it to the shell of the car, right? Down here, through this hole. They've cut it off there because whatever, they've sold the car, took the speakers out, whatever. This is bad because you've got a live wire there, which I would imagine they've ran it up and attached it to the battery, right? That's a live wire. If that rubs against the car there and breaks on the outside, that'll spark and catch fire. Your car catches fire. Unless they put a fuse right in there. But by looking at how much of a bodge job that is, they probably didn't put a fuse in. So we're lucky that this is even still here. So when I was at the dealership, the guy put the chassis number in his computer and everything, and got him to give us a little bit of information, just basic stuff. But I asked him what oil does it use and what's the quantity, and on his computer, this is what came back. So semi-synthetic 10W40. You can probably use whatever you want depending on the climate and that, but 4.5 litres is the capacity. And luckily I always keep this in here anyway because all the cars that I use 1040, so, and that's good oil as well, so I'm going to put that in. That's where I got the bits from. Anybody else in the area maybe? Looks like the guy's name was Mark, so Mark, well done, thank you. Let's go. Could you imagine, right? I remember somebody said this to me years ago. If every time you put your dipstick in like that and you pull it out, it's got a little bit of oil on the bottom. If you wipe it and then you put it in, pull it out, and that's how you have to get all the oil out of your engine. How long would it take to get all that out? Right, leave a comment. Right, let's get this oil in. You need a funnel. Every time. I get them from the cheap oil shop, and the guy fills them up with cheap oil and puts his own little lid on, and that's what happens. No, not really. that in your engine as well, a bit of plastic. So I didn't have any service history with the car when I bought it, so I went on the internet and I found, looks like a genuine service history book, a new as well, blank. So I'm going to fill all this out with the information of the car, chassis number, engine number, stuff like that. Give a quick look inside of it, briefly what it has in, just things for warranties and that. So I fill all that in. These for your services, your first 1,000 mile, 10, 20. I've passed all that now obviously with this car. It's I'll have to double check what it is actually, but it's more than that. In the back it has a section for notes, so I might just fill it in here so I can keep a record of my own service history, because it'll be me servicing it anyway, and I'll just keep an eye on when it needs to be done, when it's due, and how much oil I used, what type of oil, because I need a record so I've got something to look back at. So I'm going to fill that out now. Right, so I'm having a look at this now. The speedos in kilometres on this, so it's up to 195,534. So today's date is the 25th of the 3rd, 25. The car's mileage is 195,534, that's kilometres. And it's 4.5 litres of oil. Miller's oil, genuine filter, and plugs, NGK. I'm sure I get the part number down, because the Alzheimer's makes you forget, you know, and you get old like me. BKR7EYX plugs. That's what the Alzheimer's is. Just when you've got that many cars to mess around with, you just forget all this information. You've got to write it down, and you've got to be organised. So that's about it then. Right. I'm going to start it up, check if it's got any leaks. Serviced. I'll probably stick a new air filter on it, because that one that's on there looks old crap anyway. Seems to be running okay, as you can tell. Done a few mile in it now. Still a few jobs to sort out on it obviously, but I'm not in any rush to be messing around with this, because there's other cars to play with. So that's going to be this one getting left alone for a bit now, just used. So now I've brought it out just at the right time, because we've got a lovely sunset now. Get home after tea, 'cause I'm hungry. No, I'm not having a curry tonight. Not this time. The Silver Road just sounds so good, doesn't it? new spark plugs. A little bit of an improvement over the old ones, I would say. Anyway, it's running good. That new steering wheel, nice to drive with. I'll show you in a minute. Just brought it out for a little drive along the road. Out here. Anyway, I better get home now. Anyway, so I was looking at the statistics for Shoots Motorsport YouTube channel. Still, 60% of viewers aren't subscribed. It's free to subscribe. So, I hate asking people to subscribe and that, but it helps the channel if you want to see more videos and stuff like that. Just subscribe, it's free. Anyways, keep watching for the next video. Thanks for all the support. Thanks everybody watching, commenting and all the rest of it. I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra.